Imagine this. It's a quiet, chilly morning in November 2010. You're in a peaceful suburb of Portland, Oregon, the kind of place where nothing ever seems to happen. But on this day, November 13th, the silence is shattered. 8-year-old Emily Carter is found dead in her own bedroom. The scene is horrifying. Her throat has been slit. What makes it even more chilling? There's absolutely no sign of a break-in. It's as if the killer was a ghost. Emily's parents, Mark and Linda Carter, were the picture of a perfect family. He was a respected architect. She was a beloved teacher. Their world and the world of their community was instantly turned upside down. As their raw grief played out on television screens, the nation became captivated by this devastating mystery. The pressure was on for the police to find answers, and fast. The first person they looked at was the last person known to have been at the house, the family's part-time handyman, Carlos Ramirez. He had been there just the day before doing some routine work. It seemed like a plausible lead. But when detectives went to his apartment, they found nothing. No evidence, no weapon, nothing to connect him to the crime. And even stranger, Carlos himself was gone. He had vanished without a trace. Just as the community was trying to process this new twist, the case took another dark turn. 2 days later, a grim discovery was made in a wooded area about 10 miles from the Carter home. It was the body of Carlos Ramirez. He had been brutally beaten to death. Suddenly, the police weren't just investigating one murder. They were investigating two. The prime suspect in Emily's death was now a victim himself. This changed everything. The investigation, which had started with a clear suspect, now spiraled into a storm of confusion. Detectives were hitting dead ends everywhere they looked. They couldn't find the weapon used to kill Emily. There were no usable fingerprints left at the crime scene, and the DNA evidence. It was either non-existent or completely inconclusive. It was the perfect crime twice over. How could two brutal murders happen without leaving a single solid clue behind? With no physical evidence, the public and the media filled the void with theories. The story was on every major news network, and everyone had an opinion. Some people whispered that the parents, Mark and Linda, must have been involved. How else could a killer get in and out without a trace? Others argued it was a burglary gone terribly wrong, and that Carlos had walked in on the intruder, only to be silenced later. The Carters, still mourning their daughter, found themselves trapped in a nightmare of public scrutiny and suspicion. For 3 long years, the case remained in this state of limbo. The Carters lived under a cloud of suspicion. The police were frustrated, and the public remained obsessed. Then, in 2013, a bombshell dropped. Based on what prosecutors called a compelling web of circumstantial evidence, Mark and Linda Carter were arrested and charged with the murder of their own daughter. The trial was a media circus, with every detail of their lives picked apart. The prosecution argued they were the only ones with the opportunity, while the defense maintained there was zero physical proof connecting them to the crime. The trial was emotionally charged, a roller coaster of accusations and denials. The prosecution painted a picture of a family with hidden secrets, while the defense hammered home the lack of evidence. In the end, the jury was torn. They deliberated for days, but they couldn't reach a unanimous verdict. It was a hung jury. The judge had no choice but to declare a mistrial. Mark and Linda Carter walked free, but they weren't exonerated. They were just unconvicted. The legal system couldn't prove their guilt, but it couldn't declare their innocence either. After the mistrial, the case grew colder and colder. The leads dried up completely. By 2016, with no new evidence and no new suspects, the investigation into the murders of Emily Carter and Carlos Ramirez was officially declared a cold case. The police file, filled with years of dead ends and unanswered questions, was packed away to gather dust on a shelf. To this day, no one knows for sure who killed Emily. No one knows who killed Carlos. And no one knows if the two murders are even connected. The Carter house, once a symbol of suburban happiness, became a local legend. It was eventually sold. The Carter family, seeking to escape the constant reminders of their tragedy, disappeared from public life entirely. They moved away, changed their names, and tried to find a new beginning somewhere far from the ghosts of their past. But in Portland, the story lingers. The house still stands, a silent monument to the tragedy that unfolded within its walls. Even now, more than a decade later, people in the neighborhood say that house just feels wrong. There's a heaviness to it, an unsettling quiet. Some neighbors have even claimed to hear strange noises coming from inside when the house is empty. The sound of faint footsteps, a whisper on the wind. Is it just the power of suggestion, a community haunted by a memory? Or is it something more? As one of the original detectives on the case once whispered to a reporter, the truth never left that house, it just went quiet. And perhaps it's still there, waiting in the silence. What do you think really happened that day? Is it a stranger, a family member, or something else entirely? The mystery of Emily Carter's death is a chilling reminder that sometimes the most horrifying questions are the ones that never get answered. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into a truly haunting case. If you find these kinds of stories as compelling as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next investigation. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next video.